sight, you see. So all the senses are involved in the arti ceremony. It's a very wonderful ceremony. And when we therefore engage all of our senses in Krishna's service, then we transcend this material world and we actually come to the platform of absolute existence or Krishna consciousness, even while in this very body. So this is the potency of devotional service. It's not just a quaint traditional ritual. It's an ontological tool to change our consciousness in real time from material to spiritual. Even using the same material senses of the material body, they become spiritualized in exactly the same way that the offering of wine and bread becomes spiritualized in the Christian communion ceremony. And this is technically called transubstantiation. Transubstantiation means that ordinary material objects are transformed into spiritual energy. The way we transform them is simply by bringing them into relationship with Krishna. That's what this paragraph was talking about. There is no difference between Krishna and his body. Krishna's name is also Krishna. Krishna's fame is also Krishna. Krishna and everything related with Krishna gives stimulation to transcendental love. Because everything that's related to Krishna is of the same transcendental quality as Krishna. See? It's really simple. If you don't try to speculate about it or introduce doubts or other complicated ideas, it's really very simple. Krishna is transcendental. So anything related to Krishna, anything connected with Krishna is also transcendental. Just like the outlet on the wall here has power because it's connected to the powerhouse. Maybe that connection is complicated and goes through different transformers and power lines and such, and going all the way back to the original powerhouse. But because it's connected somehow or other, there's power in the outlet. Similarly, even though we may think that we're far away from Krishna, as soon as we connect with Krishna by bringing his energy into relationship with him through the process of devotional service, then that object becomes transcendental energy, Krishna's energy. See, and Krishna's energy is of the same quality as Krishna. Therefore, it reminds us of Krishna, puts us in relationship with Krishna too. And this is called yoga. Yoga means linking. Comes from the Sanskrit word root yukt. Yukt means to connect, like hitching a horse to a cart. So when we connect Krishna's energy with Krishna, that's the state of yoga, and that is transcendental consciousness, Krishna consciousness. So you see, it's very simple. But first we have to make sure that we understand what consciousness is, because consciousness is required for all the rest. Without consciousness, it's just material. There's no life, there's no living entity involved. Without consciousness, then the material objects remain separated from Krishna. Because it's our consciousness, it is in our consciousness that Krishna's energy becomes connected with Krishna. See? Krishna's energy, like say this harmonium, becomes connected with Krishna through our consciousness by the fact that we're using it for chanting Krishna's name. And when we hear the music, along with the vibration of Krishna's name, then we say, oh, that's very nice, that's beautiful. See? And because its quality is also transcendental. Because it's connected with Krishna, it derives its qualities from Krishna. And because Krishna's qualities are non-different from him, then also the harmonium, the energy, the sound vibration is non-different from him. I love to think about this because it's so wonderful and so simple, so beautiful. So even though these things are all the same transcendental quality as Krishna, because of the nature of our mental process, we like to give things different names and talk about them differently as if they have their own separate existence. So therefore, we need books like this Nectar of Devotion to analyze all these things. So Krishna is the reservoir of all transcendental pleasure. Therefore, the impetus to love of Krishna, although seemingly different, are not actually distinct from Krishna himself. In the technical Sanskrit terms, such qualities as Krishna's name and fame are accepted both as reservoirs of and as stimulation for love of Krishna. See, Krishna is called the Ashraya, or Krishna's devotees and Krishna's qualities are called the Ashraya, or the shelter, the reservoir of transcendental love. And Krishna is the Ashrita, or the object of that love. You see? So when the devotees come in contact with these objects that remind them of Krishna, then this transcendental love becomes stimulated, and they begin to express this love in different ways, and these all are collectively called bhava. Bhava means a state of being or a state of consciousness. And in this case, we're talking about transcendental consciousness, which has many, many different flavors. And we're going to explore all these different flavors of transcendental consciousness in future chapters of this book. Any questions so far before we get into anyone? This is a little bit complicated. I mean, actually it's simple, but it might seem complicated. We did? Pass the mic, please.
Hare Krishna. In the first paragraph, it says, qualities pertaining to his transcendental mind. And we study in the scriptures that mind is material. So that means there's spiritual mind or something like that?
Yes.
What is this spiritual mind?
Well, Krishna's mind is completely spiritual, but we can't understand Krishna's mind because his mind is so far beyond our mind that we don't have anything to compare it to. I mean, for example, Krishna manifests an unlimited number of personal forms, and they're all unique, they're all different, and they're all specially manifested just to relate to his different devotees. And each of these forms has the specific qualities that are just right for his devotees' service and their love of him. But how does he keep this all straight in his mind? I mean, who can imagine, who can imagine Krishna's mind? His intelligence is just so beyond ours that it really is not even within our grasp, to imagine it. So yeah, Krishna, he must have a transcendental mind. We have a mind, and we're part and parcel of Krishna. So he must have a mind too, but his mind and our mind are like completely different.
Yeah, well, my understanding so far was that the mind is just nonsense generator, and then when we go to the spiritual world, then there's no mind.
Well, there's no mind in the material sense. If you look at the material mind, what is it? It's like a recording device, like the black box on an airplane. Every time there's an airplane wreck, they go looking for the black box. Why? So they can find out what happened that caused the crash and stop it, prevent it from happening again, right? So similarly, the mind records everything that happens to us. It's like the little black box in an airplane. It records all the sense impressions, all the verbal emotion, and even the mind itself. See? The mind records itself as part of its impressions. It's very interesting how it works. So, when something bad happens, the reason we have a mind like that is when something bad happens, the mind puts a special marker on this recording called pain or negative emotion. And then in the future, if anything happens that resembles any of the content in a recording that has the marker of pain on it, that this makes us very alert. Okay? It's designed for our survival in the material world, that it will alert us anytime there's danger. Danger, Will Robinson. So that way, if anything happens that resembles things that happened in the past that caused us